Hello and welcome to day 2 of the First Steps 7-day free challenge. So yesterday what we looked at was trying to do the foundations for your good habits. So we looked at your habit scorecard, implementation intentions, we looked at habit stacking and looking at starting to look at your environment to see how you can make changes there. So I hope that went well. I hope you did download the worksheet and worked through that, looked at all the information there and started to build your habit scorecard and your implementation intentions, etc. Now, to do that, you would have to have defined what your goal is. So, if you haven't done it already, have a think about what your goal is, what you actually want to achieve, not just in the 7 days, but in the long term. And it could be a multitude of things. It could be to lose weight, or it could be to start an exercise program, it could be to drink more water, it could be to show more gratitude. Whatever it is, your goal is personal to you. So make sure that you write your goal down and include that in your habit scorecard and your implementation intentions and habit stacking. So to move on to today, what we're actually going to do today is flip it a little bit and have a look at bad habits and try and reduce some of the bad habits. So we're going to start by looking at how to remove cues and exposure to bad habits. We're going to try and reframe your mindset a little bit, and we're going to highlight the benefits of avoiding your bad habits. So again, scroll down within the post and download or look at the worksheet, do the tasks, do the exercises in there and read all the information, and then add that on to what we did yesterday with the habit scorecard, etc. So that is your mission for today. Basically to watch this video, which if you're here, you're obviously doing, and then to do the tasks. On top of that, I'd like to just remind you about the 7-minute video. So I would like you to try to incorporate the 7-minute video into your daily life. So if you can do that once per day, now it doesn't matter when you do it. You can do it in the morning, you can do it during your lunch hour, you can do it in the evening. But if you can try and incorporate that 7-minute video at least once per day, every day during the challenge. The second thing is if you downloaded and looked at the nutritional template, you will see in there that I emphasize protein quite a lot. And there's a very good reason for that. And if you scroll down within the group, you will see different posts on the benefits of protein. But basically, protein is very satiating. So if you are trying to lose weight, having a good amount of protein in your diet will actually make you feel fuller for longer. But also during menopause, we lose muscle and we lose bone. And one of the ways that we can help to rebuild that is by ensuring that we have enough protein in our diet. So what we're aiming for is about 30 grams of protein per meal, and that's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So at least 3 times per day. So we're aiming for between 90 and 120 grams of protein per day. And the only way you will do that is to incorporate protein into every single meal. Now, people tend to be quite good during lunch and dinner. They have their meat and their veg or whatever, unless obviously you're a vegetarian, but there are good protein sources that are vegetarian. But where most people tend to fall down is during breakfast. So breakfast tends to be more of a carb fest for most people. So what I would like you to do is consider how you can incorporate more protein into your breakfasts. Now, I've put a post in the group, which is my protein pancakes. So you would think that they would be very high carb laden, but they're not. They're actually made with protein powder and egg. They also have Greek yogurt in there. So the protein content is quite high at around 42 grams, which is a really good level of protein, but the calories are actually quite low and the carbs are quite low. So just have a think about how you can try and incorporate more protein into your diet, particularly during breakfast. The other thing I'd like you to concentrate on is the amount of vegetables that you eat. Recent research shows that although the recommendation is 5 portions of fruit and veg per day, people generally aren't eating that at all. And what they tend to do is favour fruit over vegetables. So they may be eating 2 or 3 or 4 portions of fruit and very few portions of vegetables. So what you want to try and do is incorporate again vegetables or into every meal. People wonder about how you can do that for breakfast. They think, how can you put vegetables into breakfast? Well, it's actually very easy, especially if you're having eggs. So if you have eggs, for example, and you can do them any way you like, you can scramble them, poach them, whatever way you would prefer to have them. You can put loads of vegetables in there. You can chop up peppers, onions, you can put spinach in there. So there's actually lots of different ways you can incorporate vegetables into your breakfasts. But again, every meal, I would like you to try and incorporate vegetables, and particularly at lunch and dinner, I would like you to try and follow the rule of thumb, which is basically it's a program you'll see in the nutrition template that I've actually included the rule of thumb there, and it gives you portions based on the size of your hand, basically. So if we're talking about protein, for example, if we look at the size of the palm of our hand and the thickness of the palm of our hand, that is the size of a protein portion that you should have for your lunch and your dinner. Also for breakfast, but you may incorporate that in different ways with powders or eggs, for example. And then if we talk about vegetables, so vegetables you should be having 2 fist sizes of vegetables per day, per meal rather. So a fist size is about 80 grams of vegetables. So if you imagine that's broccoli, for example, it's probably about 2 or 3 florets of broccoli, and you want 2 sets of those. So maybe broccoli and carrots or whatever vegetables you actually like, it doesn't matter. But we're not talking about starchy vegetables here, such as potatoes or sweet potatoes. They would come under carbohydrate. So the carbohydrate portion that you're looking at per meal would be what you can fit into, I'll do it in this hand, you can see it, fit into the palm of your hand with a slight heat there. And that equates to about maybe 100 grams of rice or pasta, for example, or 100 grams of potato. And then fats is the other one. People try to avoid fats when they're trying to lose weight, but fat is actually very, very important within your diet for all different reasons. It's incorporated in a lot of enzymes, and a lot of vitamins can't be transported without fat. So you actually do need fat in your diet. But we're talking about good fats, so the polyunsaturated, monounsaturated fats that you would get from maybe olive oil or olives or avocados, for example, rather than the saturated fat. So what we're trying to do is incorporate a tip of the thumb size portion in each meal if we can. That tip of the thumb there equates to about 1 tablespoon. So if that was butter, for example, it's a pat of butter. If it's olive oil, that equates to a tablespoon of olive oil. And then if we're looking at something like cheese, if we want to incorporate cheese into our diet for protein and calcium, then we would use our thumb again, but it's the whole size of the thumb. So it's the area of your thumb would be the size of a cheese portion. So hopefully that will help you with your exercise, your 7-minute video every day. It also helps you with your nutrition, looking at portion sizes and what we should be concentrating on. So when you're thinking about putting food onto your plate, think of your vegetables first, two fists of your vegetables, 1 palm size of your protein, and then you can think about your carbs and your fats. Also, don't forget to download your task for the day and your worksheet and go through that and let me know how it goes. Also, let me know how yesterday went and if you found it useful. And then again, when you've finished the task, scroll down to the bottom of the post and put hashtag take back control. Thank you.